everybody. This is the Square Green Podcast. This is our first episode. I am Nasty Nate, the host. I have absolutely no expertise in this at all. I just ask the questions, keep the flow going, and throw in a smart-ass comment every now and then. We have Jim, the Big Texan, professional wrestler, been there for years. We have Bobby D, professional wrestler, been there for years, with the belt behind him.
And the trophy. Don't forget that Bruiser Brody trophy.
Oh, that trophy. I didn't see it. Is that thing big?
It is a pretty big trophy. I won that once a long time ago as well.
Pretty damn heavy.
Thing's bigger than my head.
You guys might know us. We wrestle for SICW, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling. We have a TV show, SICW All-Star Wrestling. It appears on YouTube, Roku, Facebook, every Sunday night, 8 o'clock. You can catch most of our wrestling there. And we do live events. And with this podcast, we're actually going to let you know when those live events are, let you know about the TV tapings, the results, how you can come into a TV taping, because the TV tapings are free if you actually go to the show on Saturday nights. And we're going to use this podcast as a way to go over the results of the shows, results of the TVs if you can't catch the TV taping on YouTube or Roku. Just mainly, if there's some wrestling big news out there too, we might hit a couple of those. We're independent wrestlers, so we like to mainly keep the news on the independent scene. But if something big, happens in the WWE or AEW or, for that matter, the NWA, I'm sure we'll comment about it or at least let people know what's going on. Bobby, how long you been in the business?
I think I started training around 06 or 07. Not too long after I got out of high school. Really wanted to get into this, and actually you told me where to go. We started out there, or I started out there with a friend at South Broadway Athletic Club. He couldn't last it more than a day, so, then I needed somebody to travel with me. So, I had to call not yet the Big Texan, but had to call the Texan,
Right.
What was Jim known as then? What was your moniker then, Jim?
Well, I was always the Texan, but back then I was the Texan Longhorn. I was a part of a tag team. We were the Texan Longhorns, but I was always pretty much the Big Texan throughout my whole wrestling career. Now, I'm a little vague on when I started just because my memory's kind of shot. I like to blame the chair shots and the concussions that I've had along the way. But it's been somewhere around 22, 23 years or something like that. Just a little bit before Bobby. And that's how I knew where to go.
Even though on the Facebook pages there might be pictures say otherwise, I didn't cause any of those concussions or any of that. Never mind that only SICW hardcore match.
I have a picture of you flexing a bone.
Well, I can't show you pictures of me laying down.
What's the trophy on the belt for, Bobby?
So the trophy is actually a great honor. It's as Texan had mentioned, he actually won this before too. It's the Bruiser Brody Memorial Cup. Once a year, it's defended in a battle royal with everybody from SICW, and it tends to be every year. We get more and more people from outside of SICW coming in for it as well. Barbara Goodish, the widow of Bruiser Brody himself, is there to present it to the winner. So that, again, is a great honor in of itself. The other one would be the Central States Heavyweight Championship. That's just a old school legendary title that's had a long list of people holding it of itself.
How long has that title been around since Wrestling at the Chase?
Jim, you're a little more of the historian.
Well, no, Wrestling at the Chase was around before. It was actually like you had the NWA Heavyweight Championship belt, and that was the main one. but then you had a lot of local NWA affiliated promoters. So like, you had Mid-South, you had the Kansas City territory, you had Chicago, Minneapolis territory, Texas territory. So that belt was actually combined with a few states. I think it actually started, I might be wrong on this, but I want to say it started kind of in the Kansas City area.
I say, I don't know how well you could see. It even shows a bunch of those states right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, and the other one I couldn't quite see.
Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, and Kansas.
Nebraska.
But it's I mean, it does have a lineage, so it's a very prestigious belt that he's got there. Now, I don't have my belts to flash around or anything like that, but currently I'm one half of the SICW Tag Team Champions. It's me and a gentleman named Gary Jackson.
Well, with any luck, on the 10th, which we'll get into a little bit later, maybe you'll have another thing to drag around with you.
That's true. That's true. So we're
So what's going on the 10th?
Well,
What's that?
What's going on the 10th?
Well, I mean, we can get into that. That's going to be our next show, December 10th. It's going to be in East Carondelet. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. I'm main eventing that night. I'm actually going against our heavyweight champion, our classic champion, Attila Khan. So it's actually a great card. It's a triple main event is what we're actually calling it. Because we got a guy named Flash Flanagan. He's been around forever and a day because he was in Ohio Valley Wrestling. He was in the same class as Batista, Randy Orton,
Lesnar,
John Cena. But he had a few shots at the WWE. He just never made it there to where he actually had a career with them. But he had the career. I mean, he's still wrestling now. I mean, he's wrestling December the 10th. So he's going against
wrestling actually someone that I really like a lot too.
Axe.
He's wrestling Axe. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He's a big, strong guy. He's a smart guy. He's a bit of an old school guy.
Yeah, he's like an 80s throwback because he wears all the neon colors, the yellow boots, the tie-dye, shorts and pants and stuff.
He's got great taste in music. He loves 80s rock.
What?
I said he's got great taste in music, too. He loves his 80s rock.
Right. The other part of the triple main event, it's actually, we've had a guy named Sean Vincent. He was our SICW ambassador. Basically, he was the one that would go around and help promote, and he would be, the guy that people would contact, so they knew when the shows were. He would go out and hit the radio stations and hit all the podcasts, and he was a very nice guy. But here lately, he's had like a heelish turn where no one can get along with this guy. And we got this rookie that graduated from Bob Orton's school.
Ace Academy.
The Ace Academy. And this rookie is like outshining everyone. Like, he's really good. And watching his matches, he's really good. And the fans are all behind him. And he's actually been going against this Sean Vincent for a while. And this match coming up is actually for his ambassadorship. So this guy named Brandon Beretta, he has the opportunity to actually take that moniker away from him. So honestly, I think it'd be better on Brandon than it is on Sean. I think Brandon can actually do more with it. Mainly because, like I said, this Vincent character is kind of, he's turning heel. not a lot of people like him anymore. So it should be a great match.
Well, Jim, you're just taking some shots like the big Texan needs to.
What was
Now,
that?
has a rookie held the ambassadorship before, or would that be a first?
No, it'll be a first. Matter of fact, so I wouldn't say I helped train Brandon totally, because here the last few months, I've been actually going down to the Bob Orton school and actually helping train people. And Brandon is still in his training. So even though he graduated from the school, he still comes in and he still, well, all the wrestlers actually should train regardless how long they've been in the business, because it's always good to refreshen up on your stuff, on certain moves that you need to learn how to do and perfect.
Never stop learning. Never.
Right. So I've had my time with Brandon, teaching him little things here and there. So I really think it's going to be an interesting match.
Now, we should mention there's a lot of great talent at that Ace Academy, too. There's like Joey Vernetti, which we've seen showing up here and there. A lot of great guys that you should see coming up in the near future. Obviously, the brightest star would be Beretta, though.
The brightest star. But anyway, so yeah, that's December 10th. Like I said, the main match, though, is going to be mine versus Attila. Now, Attila, I call him a headhunter because he's one of those Abdul the Butcher type of people, you know, that are crazy. He's wild. He dresses just like you would see a butcher, Abdul dress like, where he's got the boots with the little hooks on the end. He's in like an Arabian style type of outfit. And his big thing is he likes to hide weapons. So you never know when he's going to pull out a weapon and get you with it. And he's busted plenty of people open. And he's been busted open too as well. But, you know, he just had a match with Nick Aldis from the NWA. He just had Trevor Murdoch, who was just the last NWA champion. He had a match with him as well. And, you know, I don't even know why this even flew past me. He just got out of a cage match where it was him and one of his partners named Sheik Prater. He was in a cage match with Aku and the Barbarian. And that was in a cage. So that was a pretty bloody match there. But I got that guy on the 10th. Now, I haven't really actually wrestled him in a match. And I say that because we've wrestled in like tag matches, or we've wrestled and something happened where someone's interfered either on his behalf or really not my behalf, so mainly his behalf.
It happened when I wrestled him last month. You better watch out.
Right.
He always has Prater lurking.
Yeah. So it should be, I want to expect a lot of wrestling a lot of wrestling moves in this match. It's pretty much going to be a brawl, I would imagine. So it should be very interesting to watch.
Watch out for the board.
Everybody needs a helping hand when they know they can't hack it, huh? No.
See, that's a lot of people underestimate him. You can't say he can't hack it. He is a very talented wrestler, trained by Harley Race himself. Took a dark turn somewhere after there, but he is a very talented wrestler. Doesn't take shortcuts, absolutely, but you can't not underestimate him at all.
Matter of fact, I got a picture of the card right here. So this is what Attila looks like. And then we got that SICW ambassadorship match. And then over here, this is Flash Flanagan and Axe. Like I said, it's December 10th, East Carondelet. Phone number, in case you guys want to get tickets, is 618-286-4848. But that's our next show, so that's going to be a very interesting show. And now if you guys go to that show, the next day is the TV tapings. And when you go to that show, you get to go into the TV tapings for free. It's in the same building. The TV tapings start at noon. Normally it's about 4 hours or so, 4.5, somewhere around there. But you get to stay for all the TV tapings. So it kind of helps out that you're paying for one show and you're getting another show free. Plus, you never know, you might be, end up on TV too. So when you're watching it on the screen, you can see yourself. So that's always cool for, the paying fans to get to see them.
Well, both of you just had matches this last week. You both wrestled this last week on Saturday.
Yep, that was at a fundraiser for the Belleville Little Devils. Great organization. And if you ever do have any interest, anyone out there watching, in any kind of fundraising opportunity, reach out. SICW. I've never heard of them doing an unsuccessful fundraiser.
Right. I mean, well, actually, if you guys got a building, we'll come to the building. We'll set it up. It's a great time. I actually got that card if you want to go over it. So the Little Devils, like you said, it's a wrestling school, it's a football school, and this show just helped them raise some money for their uniforms, for their wrestling pads, just basically whatever
Football
the guys
pads,
need, right?
singlets, mats. I'm actually a board member and a coach there myself. It helps. There's all kinds of equipment needs, building upkeep, just all kinds of stuff that needs kept up to keep these kids going.
Right. So that particular show, we had 6 matches going on, and I might got the order out of the order might be a little weird, and Bobby, you can correct me because you're there too. But so the first match was a guy that used to tag with me back when we formed Guerrilla Warfare. Nowadays the big Texan, I come out in the hat, blue jeans. But before, I used to come out in a mask. I wasn't the greatest guy back then. I did my fair share of cheating. My tag partner did the same, and his name was Waco. But he went against a guy who used to be our classic champion. I think it's actually a 2-time wrestling classic champion. But his name is Curtis Wild.
He also won this cup at one point.
Yeah, so that match happened, and Curtis, I do believe Curtis picked up the win on that one, didn't he?
I do believe so. Waco's been, seems like he's kind of lost since you've left him. He's loud and annoying and doesn't seem to get it all together anymore.
Yeah.
Getting some venom.
He's dangerous himself, but, he just doesn't string it together.
Back when I tagged with him, whoever had the most money, you could hire us, and we'll go and take care of your issue. So if you had an issue with another wrestler, we would be the ones that you would hire to handle that problem.
It seems like Waco's still that way. He doesn't really care as much about the win.
Yeah. Then we have the second match. This guy, Superstar Steve is his name. This guy is another Harley Race trained wrestler, and he's great. Got a little bit of attitude problem, but wrestling skill, he's got that down packed. Anyone trained by Harley Race, they're going to be skilled.
I had a long feud with Fender. I will vouch he is very skilled, very hard to deal with.
But he went against a newcomer, and who also trains at the school. His name is Big Nasty Glenn Williams. Now, I actually talked to Glenn after this match. Steve had him blown up. So Steve basically just worked circles around him. Now, you got to say, Glenn, Big Nasty, he's a rookie still. So he might not have that endurance that someone's been, in the ring 10 years plus would have. But
that's the kind of knowledge that Fender has. He can see that weakness and just start picking it apart. I'm sure he went in there knowing that Glenn wasn't going to be able to last, and just pushed him right from the get-go.
Probably just toyed with him a little bit too. So the third match was actually almost like a preview of the 10th, because you had Brandon Beretta and Joey Venetti versus Sean Vincent. And Sean has this guy that hangs out with him. He's called his intern. He's another masked character who's big and mean, and he's kind of like Sean Vincent's bodyguard. And so they actually wrestled. For the life of me, I couldn't tell you who won that match. I want to say.
I've seen a lot of pictures of it come up on Facebook and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I want to say Brandon Beretta actually won that match. But yeah, I don't know. It could have been Sean Vincent, and that's probably why they're having the match for the ambassadorship too.
Well, I'm hoping you're right with the first one. I'm not a fan of his. Everybody says he was such a great guy for so long. I followed Vincent back from when he first started, when he went by the name Slim Sexy, and he's just always been under my skin. Like, there's just something about him and that whiny voice of his, like, makes you want to hit him. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, you want to lay the guy out.
Right. Then we had Axe, and he went against Richard Shaw. Richard Shaw is another big guy, but Axe, again, he's a veteran, and Axe just took care of business. I know for a fact that Axe won that match because I actually watched that one. Anytime you have a veteran that's in the ring, it's always good to watch so you can learn, because like Bobby said before, you're always learning. You're always trying to learn a different move. Something that, you learn something that someone wouldn't see you normally doing, and it surprises them,
The card is on the 19th. Is that the one?
Yeah, that card was back from November 19th.
It says that Sean Vincent and the intern defeated Beretta and Venetti.
Well, I'm hoping for better things from Beretta this coming up show.
Yeah. It's actually, hopefully the intern doesn't interfere in the match, so that way we get a one-on-one great wrestling match.
Yeah.
But somehow I think we're not going to get that. I think the intern's going to interfere somehow. I mean, it's just a hunch.
It seems like a pretty certain hunch.
Well, he's not your typical happy-go-lucky, polite Canadian.
Right. Right.
So it's a sucker's bet if I say, he's not going to.
I would put money on it that he's going to do something nefarious.
I wouldn't doubt it either. Unfortunately, Sean Vincent, he's a veteran as well. He's been in the business a long time. So some of those veterans will always have something up their sleeve. So I'm sure he might have something in his back pocket that he's probably going to unleash on Brandon. But
hopefully it's not that stinking spray bottle and rag that we saw on TV a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so he actually put some chlorophyll, yeah, on a rag, and actually got Brandon to pass out during one of his matches, which caused him to lose that one. So you never know what this Vincent character will actually do, or how far he'll go.
That's going pretty far. Chloroform burns the throat.
Right.
I think Herb kind of laid down some law after that one. Hopefully he listens.
I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah.
Then, personally, the other match was a tag match. Of course, it was me and Gary Jackson. We defended our belts. We went against Sheik Prater, which is Attila's little henchman, and a guy named Joe Helms, which is, there's like two fractions going on, two heelish fractions. You got Attila Khan's, where is it Stephen E is his manager, so he's got like 2 or 3 people that he manages.
And then the other faction, the one I've been dealing with for freaking months, is the Dogtown Underground, led by Lucky P. Larson.
Yeah.
He's got the Professionals and Kowalski, and I believe he originally had Joe Helms until he sold him off.
Yeah, I think he did sell him off. So now Joe Helms is part of Stephen E's fraction. It's two fractions that we can probably do without. We just need to get them out of the organization if we can. But anyhow, me and
that's
Gary,
again where you better be eyes on a swivel on the 10th, because their faction is going to have Helms and Prater doing something. I promise you that.
Yeah. But that particular match, me and Gary actually retained our belts. I actually ended that match. I got Prater with my lariat, which is basically a clothesline that I just throw, and I threw it so hard, I tried to knock your head off. And I got Prater with that, which got me the 1, 2, 3. So we actually retained our belts that night.
Sure, when you put
I have to disagree. It is not a
count.
regular clothesline. That thing does knock your head off.
I'm gonna say, when you put a guy through the mat, you're gonna get the count.
Well, I'll tell you, my clothesline, my lariat, I've knocked out a couple guys' teeth already. Because, like I said, I throw it to knock your head off. And I've had teeth marks in my bicep, just bruising up. There's some people we don't even see anymore because they took it and don't want no more of it. But, it
and
is
you
what
have
it
to get
is.
on your knees to throw that at me. Bounce off the rope and dive down.
There you go. But the main event that night was our own Bobby D. He went against Kowalski. How'd that match end, Bobby?
It was a street fight, no disqualification, so we went all over the damn building. Hitting each other with trophies and medals and chairs and anything we could get our hands on. At the end of it, I did get my hand raised. Kowalski threatened my son, which gave me a little bit more motivation, and I got the 1, 2, 3 on him.
I seen that your son actually did he get pulled up into the ring?
Yeah, so Kowalski actually put the chair around my neck with me laying down, and he went up the ropes like he was going to jump on the chair and put me out for a while. So, he just kind of came on over and cheered me on a little bit, trying to tell me to get up. And, yeah, then Kowalski went ahead and drug him up to the ring.
Oh. Well, then he deserved what he got.
Yeah, you're not touching my kids.
But I did catch that.
Unwritten rule, no families.
What's that?
There's no unwritten rule, no families.
Yeah, that's
well,
pretty.
How old is your kid?
Well, that one is 12. I got a few of them, but
right.
That was 12. I got a 12, a 10, and a 7.
So Kowalski is about my height, which I'm about 6'2", 6'3" on any given day, but he weighs over 400 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that big ass guy picking up a little kid and trying to mess with him. So
Landon just weighed in for a wrestling tournament this weekend at about 112 pounds.
Man, I'm about 112 pounds. I was in the 6th grade.
Now imagine a 400 pounder picking you up in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy there. But yeah, so at the end, all the kids from the wrestling school though actually got up in the ring with you and celebrated. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure we can find some pictures that we can probably post on that as well.
That's what I'm going to say. I'll send you a couple of those. I got a couple good ones, and you can do some of your post-editing magic and, slot them in here.
Yeah.
That's why we keep you around here doing all that magical stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing I have. Forget Nasty Nate. I'll just be called the Magic Man now, because that's all I have.
There's already a Magic Man in the area. You can't have that one.
Yeah, but then you have the Big Nasty, so.
Hey, any of you guys watching this, if you're gonna come up with a name, a nickname for Nathan, give us, some examples in the comments or something, and we'll pick something out for Nathan.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Big Nasty Glenn, he might not like this. He might have to come after you. You keep that Big Nasty going.
We can rumble.
There you go. Have to get you down in the training facility to give you a few little tips.
As long as it's coming off the top rope, I'm fine.
Biggest tip: avoid the lariat.
Yeah, I guess under.
Yeah, you gotta duck that thing.
Diving.
Except for he doesn't usually let you watch it coming. It's usually you turn around and boom.
It's the ultimate surprise there, That's what I got in my back pocket is I can get you from that lariat anywhere, in the ring. So coming
And then
off
you
the
wake
rope,
up a couple minutes later and say, "What happened?"
Well, just have to come up with something. You're the big Texan. I can grab a rope and do the Spider-Man and fire.
Well, I would watch out because I do carry a bull rope to the ring as well. So you never know if I'm going to use that.
Let's be right. There's no bull whipping.
So like we said, we do the TV tapings. Each show comes out every Sunday. And if you go to the Saturday night show, you can get into the TV tapings for free. And this past Sunday, I actually have some of the matches that was on the TV tapings if you like to go over those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go over them.
So one cool thing about our TV taping is our promoter, Herb Simmons, he actually owns the rights to the Wrestling at the Chase, the video catalog. So in our TV taping, there's literally one classic match that he puts on every episode. So that classic match was actually Big Thunder Gene Kaninsky, and he went against Larry Wright. Now, Big Thunder, everyone knows him, especially if you lived in the St. Louis area. Or up in the Chicago area too, because he traveled up to Minneapolis and Chicago and all those. But of course, Big Thunder went over on that one. So just to give you a spoiler, even though it was from like the 80s.
I still haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. You ruined it.
Well,
I'll
it is a classic
cut you off here
match.
for a second, though. I feel like we have to mention where those recordings came from, where Herb got them from, the man that helped train him, a man that was around SICW for a long time helping out, is Larry Matisick. Like, it was just the anniversary of his death the other day. We gotta give the props to Larry on getting. We can just flat out say, due to technical difficulties, we cut out and then just kind of jump right back in.
Well, folks,
that's
we're
fine.
back. We had a little technical issue with some AirPods wanting to take over the conversation. Probably belonged to your Attila coming up.
He's always interfering, I tell you.
Yeah.
No, so
Right.
to jump back in where I was saying, I was just going over with those classic tapes. I feel like we have to give credit to Larry Matisick. That's where Herb had got them from. He, was training under Larry back at Wrestling at the Chase. Had a very, very hands-on, at every show, love and passion for SICW. And we got to give him a shout-out where we can.
Oh, that's true. I mean, Larry was a big part of Wrestling at the Chase, and then Larry started helping Herb run SICW. So,
And I give
unfortunately,
I give Larry a lot of the credit for my success because, as you probably remember, I was doing a little bit of everything, trying to be a luchador, trying to be a brawler, trying to do this and this. And Larry finally told me, do what you know. Keep it simple, stupid.
right.
I could put a mask on and be Rey Mysterio, reborn.
He might be a little taller. Recently got to meet him at California Alley Club. I was a little amazed at how short he is and what he can do at how short he is.
I might be too tall.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we did lose Larry a few years ago, and matter of fact, that was just I want to say it was Monday.
Yeah, it was just a couple days ago was
passing.
the anniversary of it.
Yeah, But anyhow, so Herb did get the collection from Larry. So Herb has got all the tapings. He's actually got the little cards for each match, so he knows who went against who, how they won, or well, who won, how they won, how the finish was, how long was the match. And he's got all those on index cards. So
every once in a while, Herb will post something. He's got some pretty cool behind the scenes memorabilia.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So for people that don't know, was it Wrestling at the Chase that started the whole professional wrestling in the mainstream?
No,
no,
it goes back way farther.
Yeah, so
In the
wrestling's
mainstream where people where it became more mainstream for people to watch.
So wrestling at the Chase was more like it was just the territory to be in, where everybody traveled through. The best of the best came through, and I mean, you were just guaranteed to see some awesome wrestling.
Yeah, so what the great thing is I actually have the book in front of me because I'm an avid reader. But Sam Mushnick was the president of the NWA, and he was the president for a lot of years. So even being the president, he was still the promoter for the Wrestling at the Chase. And so as a president, I'm sure he got a little leeway, but he got the best of the best to come to St. Louis. And that's, I mean, like Bobby says, a territory system, but since he was the president located in St. Louis and had his own promotion in St. Louis, he got the best of the best to come here and actually wrestle in front of everyone.
And when we say the best of the best, that includes one of Texan's idols, Bruiser Brody.
Yeah. Bruiser Brody was, Bruiser and Larry were like best friends. And since Larry and Herb were best friends as well, that made Herb and Bruiser, pretty close friends as well. Because when Wrestling at the Chase eventually folded, Herb was actually, through Larry, able to get King Kong Brody to do some shows for him. So Brody actually helped carry on SICW. But anyhow, so Herb always likes to throw in a classic Wrestling at the Chase match. And he might even do some other matches too, because,
Which you spoiled the ending to.
Next time we on here, I won't spoil the ending to it. But anyhow, so my tag partner Gary Jackson was actually interviewed on this TV taping, and he was just telling it how it is. It's our belts, and we'll defend them whenever we want to anyone who's willing to step in the ring with us. I mean, Gary Jackson, he's been through it all. Gary's been in WWE, he's been in WCW, he's been in the Memphis area, wrestling for like the Lawlers and the Jarretts. Gary's been everywhere, so I'm honored to have him as a tag team partner. But so
it was probably about a year ago I got the chance to hang out with Gary and just listen to him telling stories about how he got into the business and the traveling and the people he's faced and just his experience. Like, if you can learn anything from him as a tag team partner, like if he just rubs off a little bit on you, it's going to be gold.
Yeah, I mean, I see matches with him and Razor Ramon.
Shawn
I see matches with him and he was one of what was his name? Dan Spivey. I seen him wrestle him. So I mean, Gary's been all over the world. But so he had an interview through this TV taping. But Sheik Prater went against a new up and comer. This guy's from Memphis. They call him Cannonball Matthews. First time I ever seen him wrestle. And he kind of reminds me of you, Bobby. He's a little stockier, but he's got that athletic background of a Greco-Roman style wrestler. So, maybe future tag team partner for you there down the line. Who knows?
Yeah,
if he can get
never know what's in store.
Because Sheik really laid it in there on him, and it was a very quick match. Sheik pretty much handed him that loss. A new kid from the training school wrestled on this TV taping. His name is Boomerang. He's a masked guy. This was his first actual wrestling match, and it was on TV. So you couldn't ask for a better debut, I guess. He was on the losing end, but at least he got credit for having his first match and it being on TV. But he went against Curtis, the wild child there. So Curtis got the victory
Lion
over
of the
that.
Loon.
Yeah. And then the other one, again, Superstar Steve, Steve Fender. The one that we talked about was trained by Harley Race. He went against Billy McNeil. Now, Billy McNeil is not a masked wrestler.
It's too early for that shit.
Over
First-
again.
First podcast, growing pains. That's all it is.
Yeah, I guess. Growing
And for those
pains.
people who are not familiar with the squared ring, what does that mean and where did it come from?
So, I don't know where it came from, but I guess it's mainly because the wrestling ring, we call it a wrestling ring, but yet the ring is squared. So we just took 2 and 2 together and the squared ring, most people call it the squared circle. But in this day and age, people's got that already copyright, and but no one's got the squared ring. So
I like being a
Sorry,
little
no.
out of the normal anyway.
right. But
And recap what's coming up next week. What time should people get there on Saturday? And if they come on Saturday and want to attend the taping for the TV show, when should they get there? How early should they get there before the taping begins?
okay, so for the actual show, which is Saturday, December 10th, the doors open at 6:00. The show starts at 7. So that gives you an hour to get some seats. There's always some sort of, soda and beer and chips and hot dogs and hamburgers that you can have. Get that all settled in. Let me throw back. It is in East Carondelet, Illinois. You can get your tickets in advance if you want. I got the phone number with me. Phone number is 618-286-4848. Again, if you just want to map it, it's 823 State Street, East Carondelet, Illinois. Again, December the 10th. And if you make it to that date, your ticket stubs will actually get you into the TV tapings the next day, which would be Sunday the 11th. I would tell you to get there about 11:30 because the TV tapings start at noon. There's not like an audience like you were if you went to the Saturday show, so there could be 350 plus on a Saturday show, but the TV tapings probably hold maybe 30 people. So always, first in line gets the chair basically. So I would tell you to maybe get there earlier than that so you can reserve that. Well, so basically you can have a greater chance of getting a seat for the TV tapings.
First
So
come, first
by-
serve.
Huh?
First come, first serve. Doors open.
First
at
come,
noon.
first serve.
Now,
So
do you
like I
have
said-
to attend the Saturday show to get into the TV taping?
You don't, but it's going to cost you money to get into the TV tapings if you didn't present the Saturday night show ticket stub.
Can
So
they
if you're
go
going
to
to
the
pay for a show, you may as well
SICW
get
website?
2 shows out of it.
Huh?
I'm saying, so if you're going to pay for a show, you may as well get 2 shows out of it.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's probably the best thing going on Independence right now. You go in for a full length show, and then the next day you can come in for free. And there's normally like 3 or 4 TV tapings. So technically you can get 5 shows for the price of 1.
I mean, it's probably the best deal around. Plus, like I said, it's always something cool when you can see yourself on TV. So when you're in the audience, and then that Sunday you check it out on a Roku or Facebook or YouTube and see yourself in the background. I mean, before I was actually a wrestler and I was a fan, I always wanted to be front row. I always wanted to be next to the aisle where they would come through so you could, smack hands and high five and then to turn around, and if it was a Monday Night Raw that was in your town or some sort of pay-per-view, you always had that recorded. So when you come back home, you can look and see if you were on TV. So
I know
this
my
way,
kids love watching it back. They always check for themselves.
Right.
I'm just glad when they watch it back, I don't have to hear Travis yelling down my hallway anymore.
Well, now you got to worry about the other two, Stephen E. and Lucky P. and
They talk a lot. They don't yell as much, though.
Yeah. So just recap, there's 3 main events. They call it the triple main event. You got the young up-and-comer Brandon Beretta. He's going against Sean Vincent. And that's going to be for the SICW ambassadorship. Basically the title that Sean has had for the last few years. Like I said, again, Sean has gone a little heelish in his ways, and
he's gone back to his roots.
He's gone back to the dark side, basically. So you got Brandon Beretta, who's going to try to take that title away from him. Then the next one is Axe versus Flash Flanagan. Now, something we haven't touched on is Flash. Flash is a good guy, good wrestler, good guy all around. Fans love him. He loves the fans. But here lately, someone's been leaving him little notes, whether it be on his car or in his bag or, on the TV taping. Glenn Williams actually went out to our announcer, Drew, and gave him a card that someone, he said, gave him to give to Drew. And it's just little sayings like, we know who you truly are. You're not the good guy everyone thinks you are. And this last one said something about the axe will fall. So we don't know if Axe has got something behind this, if he's the one writing these letters. But I guess we'll find out more on the 10th. And of course,
I can't see it being Axe. I mean, he's a straightforward, in-your-face kind of guy, but I've been surprised by people before.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And Axe is actually in the letter, the axe will fall. So who knows?
Either way, but, he's living rent-free in somebody's mind.
That's true. That's true. And then the best match, I think, on the card, I'm just going to say that just because I'm in it.
A little biased.
I bet I have a pretty good guess on what you're going to say.
Well, so it's my chance to get a little revenge. This guy is
a little payback for me as well from last month.
Right. Yeah. He Bobby, you went against him last month, and I think you almost had him a few times.
I think he was about there.
But then he had some help come out and save him. It always seems that something happens along the line that, either Sheik Prater or one of his little stooges comes out and helps save him if he thinks he's going to lose, or he's cheating and using some sort of weapon or some sort of fork or something. And don't think I don't know this going into this match, but so I'm going against Attila Khan, which is our SICW Classic Heavyweight Champion. I'm gonna go full steam ahead because I know what to expect. I know to look around and not have my back towards that entrance just in case some other fool decides to come out. I also know where he likes to hide some of his weapons. So, if I can get to him first, you never know. Or if I can get the ref to see him, and get him taken away, that's even better. Have a little fair fight for once. But it's my time to actually go against him and take that belt away from him. This is the only belt that's that I haven't obtained yet, because I've been the heavyweight champion of a few organizations. I've been a tag team champion at a few organizations, been a battle royal champion at a few. In this promotion, SICW, this is the one belt I've never held. I've had opportunities where I've gone against, Flash when he had his. Flash a couple months ago was the heavyweight champion, and I was in that match with him, and we were going one-on-one when Attila came out again and jumped up on me and got the match disqualified. So even he has had opportunities to take my opportunities away from me. So, but this will be the night that you will see that belt come off of him and go on to me, because that is my whole goal, is to tear him down and to take his belt away from him. Getting him out of SICW will be nice too, but I'm going to settle for getting the pin and taking the belt.
Make him squirt some blood and some tears.
Only if they're his blood and his tears. Yeah.
That's right. Grab his fork.
Now,
and
those
force
are
him
the
back.
main events, but there will be more matches on the card as well. So you come on out, you're going to see a great night of wrestling, including myself in action. Who knows who I'll go against? I take on all comers too, but there'll be multiple matches. It'll be a great night, a great experience. Come on out.
Yep. Just one more time before we just end it, I guess. December 10th. It'll be next week, next Saturday, December 10th. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. You're not going to want to miss this. I'll tell you that.
Now, quick question. Do they get their tickets at the door? Or can they go to the SICW website, or only at the door?
So they can get it on the website. They can use that phone number that I spelled out before. So using the phone number will reserve the tickets. You can actually get the tickets off the website, and that's just sicw.org. But yeah, either way, they will do a standing room only. So if it's packed, and I'm sure it's going to be packed, you can still get your tickets and you can still watch the show. We'll squeeze you in. We'll get you some room.
All right. So good luck. Next week.
It's going to be a hell of a night.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, maybe next week if we come together and do episode number 2 and get all these bugs done out, maybe we'll have much more of a full lineup on the card to let you guys know who else has got matches and who they're going to go against and everything. Maybe we'll just do like a half-hour little podcast, like a what's going on. And like I said too, if anything crazy in the world of wrestling happens, we'll put our 2 cents in there as well. But yeah, it's been an interesting episode here. The first one out of the bag, and all the technical difficulties that we've had. It's been crazy.
And the music can only go up, right?
Yeah, it can only go up. It can only get better, right?
See what going down is on this.
Hopefully, Nate Dogg over there can do his little editing, and you guys will never know we have problems.
Yeah. There you go. You just said the name, Nate Dogg.
Yep, there you go, Nate Dogg.
Don't they have a competition with you every year? Nathan's Hot Dogs?
I could go
all
on and build on that, but we'll keep it family friendly for now.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. Well, it's been
I don't
nice.
get any of their names, so it just no.
Well, it's nice talking to you tonight, and I guess we'll get together next week. We'll get another one of these going, but I guess until then, I'll see you gentlemen later.
Yeah.
Adios.
All right, the squared ring. Let's get this blasted. Thank you guys. See ya.
Peace.